a land where monks are the original winemakers. Adventurers are challenged by the rugged terrain of the Caucasus Mountains.
So fun.
And imposing Soviet buildings are reimagined as trendy urban spaces.
Bravo! It's a small California we have here, but more wild, and I think that's the beauty of it.
This is Destination Georgia. A country of stunning mountains and breathtaking natural beauty. Covering close to 70,000 square kilometers, Georgia is located in the mountainous Caucasus region of Eurasia. Over 7 million international tourists visited Georgia last year. From backpackers to wine lovers and thrill seekers alike. Most start their Georgian adventure here, in its capital, Tbilisi. Georgia's capital, Tbilisi, was established in the 5th century. During the summer months, its ancient cobbled streets teem with young travelers. And sightseers watch life go by in the city's street cafes.
I love when I see so many tourists here. They enjoy to be a part of Tbilisi. My name is Nestan, and this is my Tbilisi.
3 years ago, Nestan Mamashvili created a website and guidebook to give young travelers an insider's view of the best places to go in the city.
Tbilisi for me is very vibrant because here we have big past and big future, where young generation is doing its best to rebuild and give Tbilisi another chance, another life to be vivid.
This is a city best seen on foot. At street level, Tbilisi's unique mix of influences come to life.
This is one of the must-see places in Tbilisi, born centuries ago.
From the sulfur baths on which the city was founded, to age-old churches and narrow alleyways from a bygone era. This is a city that displays its history. And nowhere more so than at one of Tbilisi's street markets.
We are on Drybridge Flea Market, one of my favorite places in Tbilisi.
Here, among the trinkets and knickknacks, lots of Soviet memorabilia.
Everything you see here reminds me about my country's past.
Georgia was part of the Soviet Union for 70 years, until 1991. The USSR's breakup and Georgia's subsequent independence ushered in a new era of openness. But traces of Georgia's communist past are laid out for all to see.
This is a diploma certificate, 1984. Ah! Crazy, yeah. I was not even born. Of course, it's written everything inside in Russian, because we were in USSR.
But Tbilisi isn't a city that dwells on its past. Old, crumbling buildings are being reimagined as trendy locations. Just like Fabrika, a former Soviet sewing factory transformed into one of Tbilisi's hottest urban spaces. It's home to restaurants, one of the most popular hostels in the city, and a boutique art studio, putting Georgia on the map through its unique alphabet.
Hello. Hello.
So, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
These are workshops, and all we are doing are for promoting Georgian alphabet. For me, it's so beautiful. It looks like a piece of art.
Bravo!
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. The people, they don't understand that we are not Russia or not Ukraine, we are Georgia, yeah? We are not Armenia, we are different. So this is our culture.
What makes Tbilisi unique is that Tbilisi is keeping its past, but also is looking farther, looking in the future.
Once a strategic hub on the Silk Road, the cultural influence of traders from Asia and Europe over the course of centuries have seeped into Tbilisi's very fabric, into the city's architecture and food scene. For Mariko Gubiladze, Georgian food is the world's original fusion cuisine.
Georgia is a very interesting place when it comes to food. It's because of the influences. Spices were coming from India, recipes were coming from China, some from Turks, and I think this is the main jewel in Georgia.
Mariko's love affair with food began here, at Tbilisi's oldest food market.
This is the central market in the heart of Tbilisi. I remember coming here when I was 6 with my grandma, with all the colors and smells and everything. I loved it.
She's buying a few ingredients to recreate one of Georgia's beloved dishes, heavily influenced by the Silk Road.
We got the eggplants from India and walnuts from Greece and pomegranates from Persia.
Dedicating her life to Georgian cuisine, Mariko was one of the first chefs to give it a 21st century twist.
Georgian food is fusion, and it's a great fusion, and you have to be a little careful what kind of twists you do to the dishes. My approach is, if you want to change something, that's fine. I like changes, innovation, but you have to preserve the taste of the food.
This is Cafe Kala, owned by good friend Keti Gabadze, a place Mariko credits with changing Georgia's restaurant scene.
Beforehand, we had the Soviet restaurants, like the big halls full with Georgian men and supras and feasting and drinking wine. You wouldn't see families in the restaurants. And this started changing like 15 years ago. Now we see a lot of family-style restaurants. What we have here?
So here we have khinkali.
You know, I was very surprised when I heard that khinkali is not Georgian. It came from China, but it's delicious. We love it.
We took all the good stuff from the world and we made this amazing kitchen.
While Keti's restaurant was a first step in Tbilisi's food revolution, Mariko has taken it to a new level. She set up Shabi Lomi in 2011, the first restaurant to serve Georgian food with a modern touch.
Georgians, they could get angry sometimes when you twist their food too much. I think you have to evoke some kind of emotion in a customer when they walk in your restaurant, when they see the menu. It should be some happiness or anger or a surprise or something.
Today, her innovative dishes have become popular with tourists and locals.
What they usually do, they put eggplants, they cut them and fry them in the oil, but we charcoal grill them, and it gives a nice smoky flavor to it. This is it. This is my version of eggplants with walnuts. I think the future of Georgian cuisine is unlimited. I think it will bring the Georgian cuisine to new tastes and new vision. It's gonna evolve, you know, and it's logical, it should.
Keeping Georgian food at the forefront of fusion cuisine. Wine is Georgia's most famed export. Produced in these lands for over 8,000 years. Some consider Georgia the birthplace of wine. With vineyards as far as the eye can see, this is the country's premier wine region, Kakheti. The Alaverdi Monastery, a place of worship and spiritual contemplation, certainly, but there's a difference. The monks of Alaverdi Monastery have produced wine for over 1,000 years.
The good Alaverdi experience starts walking through the gate. You see all this grand figure of the monastery in front of you, and if you are lucky, you can meet the monk.
Dara Koladilina is a wine expert who runs guided trips through Georgia's wine country. As Alaverdi Monastery's fame has spread, the number of tourists Daria brings here has grown.
Alaverdi Monastery is one of the main places to see in Kakheti.
Monks started making wine here in the 6th century.
Winemaking and agriculture go hand in hand, not only with the Georgian monastic life, but with our culture in general. Wine is who we are and what we are.
They were among the first to ferment wine in these giant clay pots called kavevri, which are unique to Georgian winemaking.
Kvevri is the traditional Georgian winemaking vessel. Usually it's put under the ground. It's always handmade. This is basically one of the oldest kvevris in the world. It dates back to the 11th century. And also in Alaverdi, there are leftovers of kvevri that are dating back to the 10th and even earlier.
For centuries, the monks of Alaverdi Monastery honed their winemaking craft, tending their vineyards, experimenting with fermentation, perfecting their blends.
It was critical to have your own wine for religious service and everyday needs.
These days, locals are now employed to produce their wine, leaving the monks more time to focus on their spiritual pursuits.
Our priority is praying, and the second is winemaking.
We are now in the younger cellar of Alaverdi, which was established in 1011. Behind me there are kvevris, and all of them are full with wine. The color of Georgian wine is actually amber, because the white grapes take the color from the skins.
The monastery's amber wine is Bishop David's pride and joy. The 2013 vintage was awarded silver at the 2015 Decanter World Wine Awards, a prestigious international accolade.
In Georgia, we say, the eye drinks, the eye eats. However, the taste has the final word, this is a good wine.
Also in Georgia, it's quite rare to taste the wines that are older than 2 or 3 years, because usually all the good wines are getting sold very fast. So for me, it's also a nice opportunity to taste something that is already 6 years old, and it's amazing.
For the monks of Alaverdi Monastery, it's not just about creating award-winning wine.
For the country and for the nation, it is necessary, as the parents of these traditions, to preserve and maintain them. We have set an example, and the rest should follow.
The Kakheti region of Georgia is home to 90% of the country's vineyards. And most of the country's best wineries are set up here, according to the Georgian Wine Association. And this is one of the newest.
Nowadays there's a real trend of new traditional wineries, and I think one of the reasons for that is that it's like a real big part of Georgian culture.
Young winemakers are harnessing the craft of Georgia's ancient winemaking methods. Tornike Chubinidze left his job in the capital Tbilisi and started Chubini Winery in 2016 at the age of 25.
I'm not missing the city at all. I'm happy and enjoying the environment and way of living we do here. When I'm walking in my vineyard, I really feel happy.
His small winery has become a popular spot on the tourist trail.
Welcome.
Around 3,000 people have already visited this year.
Main things about Georgia is the hospitality. I explained the uniqueness of making wines in Kvevri.
These tourists from the Netherlands get to taste his newest batch, straight out of the ground from a Kvevri. clay pots where the wine ferments and is stored.
Every time you open February after fermentation and maceration process, it's very emotional because it's the first introduction between you and the wine you made.
This is Georgia's iconic amber wine. The skin, juice, seeds and the ripest stems used for white wine are left in a kvevré to blend and create its unique taste and colour.
You can see that this is more amber because here in this one it's 8 months and also with the stems.
Tourniquet sells both red and amber wine, producing about 10,000 bottles a year.
When you export to other countries, I think that each bottles are real like ambassadors in the countries they go to.
Bottling his first batch in 2017, he now exports all over the world. To China, Japan, the US, and even Bordeaux, France.
Bordeaux is the main part of winemaking in the world, so when people appreciate your wine there, I think that it's worth trying and worth drinking.
After tasting some of Tourniquet's best vintages, the tour ends with a typical Georgian feast, with more guests and more wine.
First toast in Georgia we say, we drink for the peace. Let's wish to all of us to have peace. Cheers.
As young winemakers follow in the footsteps of their ancestors, Georgia's age-old winemaking methods are in safe hands. This is Stepan Sminda, nestled among the great Caucasus Mountains. The town is located on the foothills of Georgia's third highest peak, Mount Kazbek. Surrounded by lush hills, waterfalls and valleys, this is a thrill-seeker's paradise. In recent years, paragliding has really taken flight in Georgia. And this is one of the country's top flying destinations.
Paragliding is one of the best way to exploring and feeling the Georgia.
Alexander Iskandarov is an adventure guide and one of Georgia's pioneer paragliders.
The cloud base is high. It will allow us to thermal up to the cloud base and have a great experience up there in the air. Paragliding in Georgia is very important because my aim is to share this experience to new people, inspired people to explore Georgia in a different way.
Early afternoon, as the winds pick up, it's time to take to the skies.
When I'm paragliding, I feel only freedom because I can control the speed, I can control the space and motion.
Starting out when he was 16, he got the flying bug from his grandmother.
Back to 60s, she was a skydiver in Georgia. She was about 23 years old. At this time, it was a very unique experience, especially for women. It was very interesting and fascinating for me. What does it feel to fly in the clouds? Time by time, I gathered the experience, contacts, and I gained very nice small communities, paragliding and climbing.
An increasing number of tourists are coming to Georgia specifically to paraglide.
I'm very proud that people are coming here and exploring.
One of them is Christine Kajvantel from Austria.
I fly a tandem yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with Resi. It was cool. There is a lot to explore here. Paragliding in Georgia is special because it's undeveloped country still, and we got very interested because we find out about the high mountains, like 5,000 meters.
As the day of flying comes to an end and the adrenaline rush subsides, for Alex, one last pleasure remains: to sit back and delight in the view of these rugged mountains.
Georgia is amazing because here is everything is wild, amazing for all activities. Georgia's
Caucasus Mountains are filled with history. For centuries, people have trekked through and inhabited these valleys and hilltops, leaving behind age-old buildings and crumbling remains, many only accessible on foot, or increasingly by bike.
That's a little rocky, eh? Okay. The thing I love about mountain biking is that you can see so much more terrain in a day, and you can get to so many more interesting places.
A passionate mountain biker from Canada with almost 10 years' experience in the saddle, this is Jeremy's first day on these rocky trails.
When you're traveling in a country and you go with the local travel company, it's the best way to go.
His guide, David Chukeli, is Georgia's first mountain biking champion and founder of the country's first mountain biking company.
Georgia for me is paradise.
David has ridden through these mountain trails for over 2 decades.
We have amazing single tracks. Many requests are coming here because people see these mountains, which is it's ancient. You're traveling back in history. Many people are coming around the world, and I love to meet new people because we sharing our stories, our memories.
Taking in the impressive view, now it's all about the heart-stopping descent.
Now the adventure begins! There's obstacles all the time, so your mind is always at work, as well as your body. It's just a blast. If I had to put mountain biking today in Kazbegi in one word, it would be adrenaline.
Pedaling down narrow routes that zigzag through the steep valley, they arrive at an ancient watchtower.
Woo! It's so fun. I just love seeing these ancient watchtowers and just so scenic. Incredible. Okay, ready guys? 1, 2, 3, nice.
The end of the road for these bikers is a local hotel and sample some Georgian hospitality.
Yeah, Georgia is a gorgeous destination. Really friendly people. People are so willing to invite you in and show you the history. It's been an amazing experience.